My phone is my bank.
Sampat Mobile Banking. Convenient, easy, saves time. Sampat Bank, we present your future.
Good evening and welcome. This is Newsfirst Primetime News coming to you live from our Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I am Shaheen Durrangpati.
And I am Nicola De Zoiza. We start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Election manifesto of the JVP unveiled. Manifesto titled The Accord of Consciousness. The SLFP ministers prepared to resign from portfolios.
තීන්දුවක් ගැනීම සඳහා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු. මධ්‍යම කාරක සභාවේදී තීන්දුවක් අරගෙන අපිට රජයෙන් ඉවත් වෙන්න කියලා යෝජනාවක් අපි ඉදිරිපත් කළා.
Tissa Attanayake forms a new party. Badminton World Federation suspends the membership of the Badminton Association of Sri Lanka.
In your top story this evening, UPFA Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa met with an unexpected incident while attending a public meeting in Akurasa yesterday.
A person under the influence of alcohol had made several attempts to get close to the former president and to hold his hand. This person eventually got close to the former president and held him by both his hands. However, because of apprehension, the president moved his hands away and moved aside. His security escorted him to the stage. This was not an instance where attempt was made to assault a single person amongst a crowd or cause an issue with a supporter or even intimidate a supporter. There was a large crowd there and he was surrounded by them. One person had pulled him by the arm out of love. At this instance, that person had pulled the former president's ring, following which the former president had pulled his arm away. But this was shown as if he attacked him. This is what was portrayed on Facebook, which is wrong. No such incident took place.
Well, today's trending story is a situation that transpired in Akurasa when UPFA Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa attended the meeting there. Now, Krishan Vithana questions, should we send such people who continue to lie to the parliament? Murjit Mahasoob says, lessons learned, liquor bottles for crowd pooling is a bad option. Stick to rice packets and money. While Nishan Tilakawardana says that this is a clearly planned move.
The election manifesto of the JVP was launched today.
Frontline leaders of the JVP, professionals representing various fields and many others attended the convention. A song composed by the JVP for the elections was also unveiled. The Accord of Consciousness, a collective of ideas and proposals from organizations, individuals and experts from various fields, contain 5 key points. The key points in the Accord are people-friendly rule, high standard in human resources, modernized and industrialized country, a just society and liberal citizen. Under the point, people's-friendly rule, attention has been drawn towards state components, state power and state operations. The JVP had also drawn its attention towards many other proposals including fundamental rights, national security, national unity and foreign policy. Education and health has been addressed under key points of high standard human resources. JVP also focused its attention on water, food, nutrition, healthcare, sports and fitness and science and technology as well. Under the key point of a just society, the JVP underlines the importance of fundamental human rights, the judiciary and the prevention of waste, corruption and fraud.
Some question what will happen to the investments when we are elected. We will call for investments in accordance to the economy and to build the country. If all of us come together, we can take forward the production and services of the country and also seek a portion of the world production and services within the next 5 years. We need to mold this country. We make an assurance to the people. All the 360,000 who enter grade 1 will receive an education where they will be provided with an employment opportunity upon the completion of their education. The JVP government will take the responsibility of providing a house to all married couples. The JVP will also give priority in ensuring that the health service will meet the requirements to live a healthy life. We will do it. We will also create a judicial system where everyone's cases will be proceeded in an efficient manner. We will also make the state governance mechanism more efficient. We need to make that happen. What was done over the past 67 years? Will they ever correct themselves when they have failed to build national reconciliation and national unity? No. They are spreading nationalist sentiments to gain power. The JVP does not follow the international extortion policy. The JVP will have a foreign policy that will place Sri Lanka in a high position in the international arena.
The JVP also focuses on building a modern society.
All those who wanted to remain in power by force across the world have been given their due place by the people. That is the dustbin. Therefore, anyone trying to come back by force will meet that end. We witnessed that on the 8th of January. We are aware that a majority of leaders of political parties, especially those who are in power, are good actors. They will smile for the camera and later use profanity to the people. The leaders of the past are those who looked away from the people. We will risk our lives to protect the trust that you have placed on us.
Following are the views of political party leaders expressed during election rallies.
We will unveil our election manifesto on Thursday, and it will contain plans to address your issues and will provide solutions as well. The first thing is to increase your revenue and address the issues pertaining to the economy and employment. Next will be to develop infrastructure facilities and welfare. The third would be to eradicate corruption. The fourth would be to ensure freedom, while number 5 will be to develop education. There are 2 or 3 matters that will address the issues pertaining here in Batiklo. I was asked what would be the certified price for paddy. It will be 50 rupees. There were some shortcomings in the party. We will address them and proceed. Some top persons have investment boards. We have commenced small business boards. We will establish a centre to provide assistance on this at every electorate. These days the government is obtaining loans, but they are not doing any work. For these 6 months, they have obtained loans that surpass the sum of money I borrowed to develop the country in 2014. They have teamed up with the JVP, and in the words of Somavansa, they have become the bell of the elephant. When you look at this in one way, it is a happy and a disappointing thing that the people of this country had to experience the destructions that were caused within 180 days by the UNP government by forcibly taking the mandate of the people. There is no new service that needs to be done to the country. We understand that destruction is the order of the day. There is a saying that when the pig tastes its own feces, it will not eat anything else after. The same is with politics, and that is why they are trying to re-enter politics. We kindly request the people of this country not to be deceived by this cancer. We are trying to create a social, economical and political revolution in the country. I heard a big wig of the alliance saying recently that the time has come to rectify the colossal mistake caused on the 8th of January. What was the mistake caused on the 8th of January? Was dethroning the ethanol dealers a mistake? Was dethroning the drug dealers, the murderers and the white van operators a mistake? The events that transpired on the 8th of January cannot be changed by anyone. I will make you a promise. That is to sweep away these miscreants away from our society.
Here are some of the views.
Here are some of the views expressed on the election platform.
Doors and windows were not closed as the miracle of Asia was expected. They were left open. two colleagues in court said, "Don't ask that question, it will cause issues." They said that they will have to pawn the wedding ring because of this. A promise is made that matters that were not fulfilled within the 100 days will be done in the future. Brother and sister, tasks were carried out during the 100 days. Do not go to support persons who show no gratitude. If you do that, you'll always be made helpless. They are puppet leaders controlled by different persons in the country. We need someone who can stay as a leader. We need a leader with a backbone.
Concrete jungles were created and they call that development. There is no point in doing so. When development takes place, the people need to feel the development. I wish to ask you, did you feel anything of the so-called development?
After this election, the taxes will increase. The price of a kilogram of rice will increase from 60 rupees to 100 rupees. They will do it. They are now speaking of providing 1 million job opportunities. How can they provide 1 million job opportunities? Explain it to us. If they cannot promote domestic production and if they cannot export domestic products, how will money flow into the treasury? For 11 years, Mahinda Rajapaksa was the executive president of this country. He is now saying that he will increase the wages. What he failed to do for 11 years by going before the sacred tooth, we did it in 29 days. Now he has started questioning as to how we will be doing it. The people will not be deceived. We need to move away from colour-based politics. We need to forget about amassing personal wealth. We need to forget our affiliations. If we are to steer the country in the right direction, we need proper leadership. We need to decide on a political party that will have a proper policy. We need the power of more than 125 seats in order to serve you. However, what was done was not a major task. Now we ask your mandate to perform even bigger tasks for you. This is the appeal we make from you. After suffering defeat at an election, we have to wait for 5 to 6 years to come into power. You have been given the opportunity to rectify that mistake and establish an even more stronger government. We hope to have a majority of 113 members in parliament. Therefore, we need to secure victory in the Badulla district. The people of the country are those who exercised their silent franchise on the 8th of January against a corrupt and intimidating elections where state power was misused. When such a manner of governance was defeated, Mahinda is saying that cases are being filed against the innocent persons and that the police are arresting the innocent people. Mahinda is like the cover on the garbage disposal. One pillar is the pillar of drugs, the other is thievery, another is murder, while the remaining one is the pillar of ethanol. The UNP is aware that they cannot establish a government alone. When the JVP, the TNA, the party of Fonseca leave, how many votes will they have? I can say that we will definitely establish an alliance government after the 17th. With our departure, the SLFP is less strong. When medication is provided, it is not provided all the time. We previously said that we will remove tooth by tooth of the previous government. On previous occasions, the whole set was removed. Today, the preferential votes are important for some. Everyone competing under the UNP are contesting with a victorious spirit. We have made a major change in the country. We see many unwanted things happening under the guise of good governance. The UNP was involved in the central bank issue. The same goes with the SLFP for introducing persons who are not suitable. It appears that they will not rectify their mistakes. We request the people to take the proper decision. The people did not benefit from the development that took place. The country did not benefit from it either. However, massive loans were taken from countries like China and development projects were initiated at various places. But the country did not benefit from it. The people have to repay those loans to China. Parliament is the place with the worst stench in the country. That is not a lie. A river starts from the peak of the mountain. If waste is mixed with it along the way, then it can never be cleansed. Today there is fraud, corruption and injustice in the country. In order to cleanse the country, it should start from the top. I do not engage in sly politics. I cannot simply say I will do this and that. I do not like to waste the people's time. Politicians will come to you and say vote for them for these reasons. All I can say is this. If you have ever heard that Navin Dissanayake is a thief, a rogue, a corrupt person, an ethanol dealer or a pervert, do not vote for me.
The Treasury bond issue was also a point of discussion within the political sphere today.
Why is the UMP so afraid of this report being exposed? This shows the level of good governance and its transparency. Now the Colombo District Court has sent us notices. Based on this petition that has been filed and the notice we have received, we are ready to present facts to court on this investigative report. I think we should all be surprised that the United National Party, which stands for democracy, media freedom and the right to information, is acting in a way that violates the principles of democracy and the right to information. There is a major economic issue being created. The value of the rupee in comparison to the dollar is depreciating at a pace. Due to this issue at the central bank, the interest rate and inflation rate of the country is rising. Foreign reserves of the country are crumbling. Due to the depreciation of the rupee, the cost of living in the country will aggravate in the future. The country's economic stability has deteriorated.
The United National Party convened a press conference in Colombo today.
Canville Holdings is constructing the Hyatt Hotel opposite Temple Trees. It has been reported that this is marred with many corrupt deals. This was an establishment that was started by 3 top government officials with 30 rupees. The EPF was told to provide them with 5 billion rupees. The professionals were told to speak with the central bank on this matter and inform them. I have the minutes of the investment committee meeting dated the 12th of September 2012. This states that the establishment of Gamini Senarath did not invest the 5 billion rupees. The EPF is the money of the working people. What did Ajit Niwad Cabral do? The 5 billion rupees was taken and invested in a project that was deemed as corrupt. There is no trace of a large portion of money that was invested.
The United People's Freedom Alliance also convened a press conference in Colombo today.
We have to think again as to whether we will be serving as ministers in this government. There is no sense of holding a cabinet ministerial position when looking at the manner in which the United National Party is currently functioning. Therefore, we intend to make a request from the party to reach a decision on our resignations at the Central Working Committee meeting.
මේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේ මධ්‍යම කාරක සභාවේදී ඉල්ලා අස්වීම පිළිබඳව තීන්දුවක් ගැනීම සඳහා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. සියලු දෙනා සාකච්ඡා කළ ලිඛිතව
We will write to President Maithripala Sirisena to make a proposal to the Central Working Committee to accept our resignations from the government. We urge that the decision be taken by the Central Working Committee. Within 2 hours of that, all the ministers and the MPs will gather at one place and resign from their positions and join the election campaign of the United People's Freedom Alliance and steer it towards victory.
ඒ නායකත්වයත් එක්ක පෙළගැස්ලා ජයග්‍රහණය සඳහා අපි ඒක රාශී වෙනවා කියන එක ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න මම මේක අවස්ථාවක් කරගන්නවා. අපි දන්නවා මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මැතිතුමා.
We know that minorities rallied around Maithripala Sirisena. The minorities were facing a lot of problems. However, I would like to request all minorities who voted for Maithripala Sirisena to cast your ballot for him at the upcoming election because he is the leader of the alliance and there is nothing to fear.
In an unexpected turn of events, former Public Relations Minister Mervyn Silva has announced his decision to support Gampa district candidate Arjun Ranatunga at the August parliamentary polls.
Sri Lanka Nidas Paksem Pokurakma dala තියෙනවා මෙයාට.
A group of persons have been given nominations from the SLFP to contest in this area. One of them cannot even bring together 5 people to go on procession. Another has swindled money from the Pradesh Sabha and has supported the misdeeds of Basil Rajapaksa. I know that I will win if I contest. Basil Rajapaksa has stolen my votes from Gampaha. I have my own votes because the people love me. I am not in Kalania. I will provide Bevan Pereira the post of organizer of Kalania. And now I invite the great personality who won the World Cup for Sri Lanka, the person with no fraud and corruption to his name.
තරුණයා මෙන්න ඔබතුමාට මම ආදරය කරනවා.
අපිට පොඩි කාලයේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබුණා. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට
We had an issue with time. If not, we could have contested under the swan symbol again. Our Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe tried very hard to contest under the swan symbol. But since there was an issue with time, we took a decision to contest the election by joining United National Front and win the election for our President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Give us your support to appoint him as the Prime Minister of this country and proceed with what we have achieved for the next 5 years.
Former Health Minister Tissa Thanayake today established a new political party.
Tissa Thanayaka's new party is named as the United Citizens Front. Our policy is based on liberal democracy. Our economic policy also focuses on democratic rule where democracy is respected. We hope to strengthen this while respecting the welfare policy.
With the general elections just weeks away, I caught up with a group of researchers from Europe on Sri Lanka and her future. Hello, I'm joined by R. Roberts, Eileen Parler and Sandrine Steiner, who are from Global Vision, who are here in the country to produce a report on the country's socio-economy. You all have met several business leaders as well as political leaders. What were the key areas that you all discussed? What was the outcome of these discussions?
Look, we've discussed an array of things. Of course, we've looked at Sri Lanka starting from the beginning of the year, that there's been a new leaf of progress, as well as how Sri Lanka is performing economically within South Asia, of course having a very robust economy. Within that, we looked at all of the key sectors, which of course also include commerce and trade, the financial sector and tourism, which clearly plays a very important role as you're communicating to the international audiences.
Before your visit to Sri Lanka, what was your impression of the country?
I've known a bit about Sri Lanka, but however, if you look at it internationally, I think there's still lack of information out there about Sri Lanka. Whether we look at the investment climate or whether we look at it as a tourism destination, there's not much information out there about Sri Lanka, which is really reflected in terms of the investment coming from the West and reflected by the tourist number coming to Sri Lanka per se. So definitely the country needs to communicate further.
What have you gathered during a brief stay in the country?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect at first, and I came here and I was very pleasantly surprised. I feel like it's a very nice and safe place.
What do you believe that Sri Lanka holds for the future?
I feel like there's a lot of potential in this country, and I feel like the more we learn and the more the international crowd gets to know about it, it's just going to grow into a much stronger country.
What would you be taking back home?
The culture itself. I want to take the culture back to UK. I want to take the culture back to wherever I'm going next, and to tell everyone that this is a small island. It's a very proud island, but it's a very culturally diverse and culturally rich country.
The diversity really of this country that has so much to offer, and I hope to take this with me and bring it to others.
Welcome back to the news. Politicians placed in remand custody for various allegations being escorted to court in ambulances caused much discussion within society in the recent past. However, the manner in which an inmate was brought to the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court opens the floor to a debate with another point of view.
An inmate who was severely ill was brought to the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court in a prison bus. The inmate who was brought to court at 9 this morning was not released from the court complex until 4 p.m. However, when prison inmates with such a condition are to face a situation like this, politicians were brought to prison in this manner.
The Badminton World Federation has suspended the membership of the Sri Lanka Badminton Association with immediate effect.
Speaking to Sports First, Director General of the Department of Sports Development, KDS Ruan Chandra, said that the membership had been suspended as the constitution of the local body did not fall in line with that of the sports world governing body.
The Badminton World Federation has informed the Sri Lanka Badminton Association that its membership has been suspended. It has not mentioned for how long. It has only mentioned that the membership has been suspended with immediate effect. They say the reason is because the constitution of the Sri Lanka Badminton Association does not fall in line with the constitution of the world governing body of the sport.
Sports First contacted the chairman of the Sri Lanka Badminton Association, Suraj Dandenia, over the matter.
After an issue between the National Olympic Committee and the Ministry of Sports in 2013, the International Olympic Committee gave us 6 months to sort out this constitution. However, it's been a year and a half, and the Sports Ministry and the National Olympic Committee have failed to rectify the issue. We are awaiting the forming of the constitution. The constitution that we compiled was approved by the BWF.
Meanwhile, Minister of Sports Navin Dissanayake said that discussions will be held with the Badminton World Federation over the issue.
This is actually quite an unfair decision because we do have the opportunity to implement our own sports regulations. We hold elections according to our sports regulations. We will try to hold discussions with them to lift this suspension. However, the way I see it, there is no basis to the facts they have presented to us on the suspension. So what is actually happening here is that since certain officials who have served for more than 4 years cannot contest again, they are portraying a wrong image to the international associations. I believe that this is causing great harm to the country, but we will not succumb to it.
However, Secretary of the National Olympic Committee, Maxwell De Silva, said that they had not received any official notice from the Badminton World Federation over the suspension of the Sri Lanka Badminton Association. There are currently over 6,000 shuttlers representing 225 schools at national level. From a player's perspective, it is quite unfair because the Olympics will be staged next year and no player will be able to represent the country at the Games. It is a great loss at such a time. I believe that it is best that swift measures be taken to lift the ban. If not, no youngster or senior will be able to take part in any international event.
In sports news, Lahiri Thirimanna's second straight half-century, a 109-run partnership with T and Dilshan guided Sri Lanka to 256 for 9 against Pakistan in the fourth one-day international, and the visitors are currently chasing the target of 257.
Well, that's a wrap of your primetime news. Thank you for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Nicola De Zoiza.
I am Shahin Dhrampati. Good night and take care.
Take care.